What's up? This is Baron and Sadist. I know it's been a long time since we did one of these things. This will be showing on Facebook, YouTube, and YouTube. The topics today will be I'm here with Baron Yam. The topics today will be you want to say them, Yam?
Yeah. The topics today are going to be virtue signaling, being defensive, how to cope with a bad situation, sex addiction if females get drafted, and and a side tangent, feeling betrayed or let down, and what to do about that. Did you hear that last part? Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's get so the part about coping with a bad situation, I realized is a lot of people they have ways of coping, and a lot of the times, like when you were in that when I, well, not you, but when I was in that kind of like gaslighting phase, or that phase of like moving from wanting to get more in tune with the red pill, but kind of facing a lot more obstacles than I was actually gaining knowledge. It was it was hard to discern like coping mechanisms that were going to help me versus coping mechanisms that I saw other people do. And I used to put a lot of the coping mechanisms that other people did on a pedestal, and like I saw how what they would do, and I would say, oh, because I'm not doing that, I'm not as good as that person. So the things that they say, I took into account, or the things that I say, I respected, or something like that, or I tried to give a silver lining to, even though they weren't a good person, like down to down to their very core. It's just some people's coping mechanisms, they look better on just in terms of society than another person's coping mechanisms. So it was all about figuring out how how people kind of how people cope with being in a bad situation. Like when it comes to like MGTOW, the red pill, a lot of that information, a lot of that sharing of information in the brotherhood actually produces positive outcomes in one's life. I'll give you an example. I was kind of, bouncing around from job to job, not really set on anything in terms of like where my mind was at. And then as soon as I started studying the red pill, I started to, and there's an echo.
There is?
I don't know that. Yeah. I don't know.
Nobody's resonating. Nobody's resonating.
I don't know. Maybe it's on my end, which wouldn't make sense because I have a headset. So, but yeah, like the information helped me a lot to sort of like understand your attitude, and understand your mindset, and how not to really be overly defensive about your habits and stuff like that, because honestly, something you say a lot is to not be predictable.
Mhm.
And so that kind of helps. That helps to understand what exactly people do when they're coping, like, and that actually puts you in a better position to cope, I guess you could say. But when people don't have all this ability to share information, they don't know how to cope properly, and so they kind of just either follow a trend, or they fall into something more dark and more, because there's no light shed on the truth about it, or about anything associated with it. So they kind of either they build that rationale by solely by themselves, and they become a narcissist, or something of another sort. But it's just helpful to know stuff about, or to know that the red pill is out there, and it's still circulating, and there's always more things to know about it, that rather than to fall into like this pattern of coping, narcissism, and then being defensive when you're called out on something.
Mhm.
um Yeah, and wait, anything that I failed to cover in that? No, not really. Oh, and then yeah, so then it gets kind of. Did you want to develop? Did you want to speak on that at all, or is that
I was like, I
because
was
it
like,
kind?
I was letting you go with your thought process before I went in.
Yeah, yeah. Well, okay. So then, yeah, the last thing I'll put into that is the whole the sex addict component, and I've been studying a lot of like the MGTOWs and stuff, and the like especially like spiritually focused people,
Hmm.
and they try to approach this they study married men as a rule of thumb to sort of understand what exactly makes them tick, what motivates them, and what they've kind of gathered is that they operate under a sort of deceptive attitude. That's why a lot of people, like at my job, one guy who's married, everybody in the at the job is just like, oh yeah, he's, they would say he's puñal, but then they would say like he doesn't have he doesn't have kids, and he kind of he does a lot of drugs, and um he uh he doesn't he's not really motivated in the marriage to actually do anything. He's just married as a rule of
Hmm.
thumb. So it's kind of like it's under this deception, and a lot of people who either are married or they claim to be quote unquote married, even though they're not actually
Hmm.
married. They have all of these different possessive attitudes towards everything in their life. So that's another way of coping. And it's coping with like it's coping with what a red pillar would naturally understand is like a natural would understand as a natural process, just like
Yeah.
sexual marketplace and everything like that. There you go. I'll let you have the floor with
Um,
that.
I'm gonna give a shout out to everybody in the chat right now.
Yeah, what
Sean,
up,
what's up?
Soap?
Shinobi
Deville,
One,
Shinobi one.
America's
Yeah.
America's and Soap and Psyche Soap, America's Deville.
Nice
What's up,
nice
Sean?
podcast yesterday with Chronic Blast.
Yeah. And everybody else that popped into the chat and everybody else that's hiding out in the background. What's up? Um, I'm going to say to that when it comes to sex addiction, it's not necessarily the act that's the problem. It's the fact that they're coping with something else by using that to their advantage. Like if they're nervous or if they're uncomfortable or if this stuff, sex basically. That's typically that's pretty much the way of the world, especially when it comes to women. Typically, women would give sex just for any given reason, just so they could feel wanted or loved
Right.
or
Right.
needed and shit like that. So sex addiction isn't really a problem per se. It's basically what the
Right.
problem is basically the problem that you're actually trying to cover up with sex addiction that is actually the underlying problem. Like it'll be basically no different than if you're a smoker. If you smoke cigarettes on a regular basis, then you quit, then you got to relearn your whole entire schedule without smoking, and or you always have something in your mouth, and or you're always eating some shit. So you go from one habit to another habit, like smoking. You'll go from smoking to eating shit. So now you're going to blow up in weight now because you just have to have shit in your mouth. And typically, what ends up happening is you end up putting food in your mouth, and you end up putting some more food in your mouth, and you put some more food in your mouth, and now you're like 500 pounds. So it's one of those things where like you're going from one bad habit to another bad habit. So typically, when you actually have a habit, is basically covering up another habit or another psychological condition that you're suffering from at that point in time. If you really think about it, um, that's the thing about sex addiction. When it comes to the whole entire thing about you were talking about like various aspects and people on the red pill and how they view and see things. The sad part about that, I've actually talked about this in another video when I talk about there's a lot of people that call themselves red pill, but they're like surface level red pill, or maybe intermediate red pill, and they don't go
Yeah.
no deeper than intermediate. Like typically, I try to go deeper than just the shit that they always talk about getting girls or looks or working out and stupid shit like that, because that's basically all surface level shit. There's more shit to this shit. This is typically why I came up with the serious red pill psychology, because there's more to this shit besides just working out at the gym and talking to girls and marriage and all this other shit and relationships and this shit. There's way more to this than just that, and that's the overall problem that I have with a lot of the people, because that's all they can talk about is relationships and working out and this, that, and the other, and hitting on girls
Entrepreneur.
and pumping dog
Entrepreneurship.
and entrepreneurial shit and shit like that. There's way more to this than just that shit. There's way more than this than, buy this soap or, buy this other stuff or, follow me. And this is the lifestyle. This is the bachelor lifestyle. This is the
Let
free
me
agent
ask this
lifestyle. This is
though
all these
too.
lifestyles.
Is there more to it than getting off the grid, avoiding women, and getting off the plantation?
That's a part of it. That's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
major
yeah.
part of it too, as a red
Okay,
pill.
I get what you're
And
saying
that's the
with the
sad
red
part.
pill then, yeah.
There's way more to red pill besides just relationship shit. The sad part about that is you got a lot of people who stay at the surface or stay just above intermediate that try to tell, well, this is the red pill. That's not just the red pill. There's more to this than red pill. This is why I have this show called Bleeding Edge Red Pill, where we go off into other ends of the red pill that nobody's willing to dive into, and we dive into it at a psychological or a metaphysical level, basically, because there's way more to this shit besides all this shit. Because at the end of the day, no matter if you like it or not, everything else is nothing more than a subsection of the red pill. Let you be MGTOW, let you be black pill, let you be incel, let you be pickup artist, let you be, dating coach, let you be free agent lifestyle, let it be bachelor lifestyle, let it be all this shit is nothing more than a subsection of the red pill. All this shit is nothing more than a subsection of the red pill. MRAs, all this shit. So at the end of the day, it's one of those things where it's like you have to understand where you actually come from and have to understand what the red pill actually is for you to actually say you're really, really red pill or you're red pill as fuck. Because there's not too many motherfuckers that are red pill as fuck because they're not willing to go beyond or look at themselves or, question what they did wrong and something. They always point the finger out, well, it's her fault. She divorced me or she took the kids or she did this. Okay, so what did you do to quite possibly fuck that up? Because, like I
Yeah,
said, there's two
and in back,
motherfuckers in a relationship,
yeah,
you motherfucker and her motherfucker. So obviously, y'all both fucked up to a certain extent for y'all to end up this way. There's never just
yeah.
one person saying, I'm out. Because at the
You
end
know,
of the
it's
day,
true. When
there's
they're
always,
in the
there's,
marriage, yeah, they will always as long as they're getting, as long as there's the potential of sex, then they can pretty much overlook any flaw that they have. Like the relationship legitimizes anything, any flaw, any sort of coping that they have. Whereas they look at single people, and I was talking with Wynn about this earlier, they look at people, men who are single, as the ones with all the issues. So it's kind of like their way that they try to cover up their will to power is to sort of uh, is to sort of highlight how single men have issues, and it kind of being married is almost like I said, it's like a beard, or it's like this deceptive strategy to sort of make themselves appear higher value, like the high value fake. And the women, it's the same way that the women give sex, like what you were saying. And um and to be honest, I mean, it's more or less just like, if they you're talking about all these different subsections of the black pill,
in the
or
red
sorry,
pill.
the red pill, the red, sorry, you're talking about all these different subsections of the red pill, and you have a lot of people who just are just yelling and spurging out when because that's essentially what they need. They're looking for something to make themselves feel better, or
Mm-hmm.
appear better, and yeah, like the I don't really think sex addiction really is an issue. It's just because lust is
No,
just
it
a
is
it's
an
just a
issue.
normal.
Don't get me wrong, it's an issue. But the problem with it,
Yeah,
though, is
yeah, no,
it's
yeah,
an
I
issue.
get it.
It's an issue. It's an issue that masks another problem or an underlying problem for all intents and purposes. Because at the end of the day, if you need to have that much sex, obviously you don't respect yourself or you're having some type of psychological problems at the end of the day. It's not
True.
just sex addiction that you're suffering from, it's other things that you're suffering from, other underlying things that you suffer from.
Or a lack, or you're making up for a lack of something else. But
Mm-hmm.
and it comes with being like raised to be kind of spoiled for choice, or spoiled for needing. And men are not often like raised to be kind of spoiled, except in this day and age they are.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just kind of, it's just a really weird set of circumstances that we live in now, where a lot of men, like getting back to the defensive strategies, a lot of men will get into a marriage and then have all of these reservations of I'm not going to say that she's not cheating on me, but she probably is, if that makes sense. Like,
Mhm.
they try to create this fantasy in their head where they're the good person in the relationship and their partner is the one that's cheating on them, and
Mhm.
it kind of just creates this, it kind of what is what motivates them to live life,
Mhm.
which is just a constant cycle of thinking in the negative and never actually willing themselves to power, which is always why they try to throw their weight around and their status around, like their
Mhm.
money and their looks, everything, like the whole coping mechanism, the whole coping, the sphere of influence that tells them what to do.
Mhm.
Sports, talk radio, television, music, movies, everything. If you don't act like the person who's the good guy in the movie, if you don't agree with the song, or if you don't follow sports, if you don't religiously, if you don't do these certain things, then you're coping to them,
Mhm.
and that's all that matters at the end of the day. It's this narcissistic web of deception, like we were like a lot of the MGTOW people like to highlight. And
Mhm.
when it comes down to me, like I don't necessarily like to bring all this stuff into context unless I'm dealing with an issue myself and I want to figure out how can I best approach the situation. Because what I learned along the way is that when it comes to men who are married in society, a lot of them, they get their power from their woman,
Mhm.
or a lot of
True.
them, when they're spending the time yelling or delegating or deliberating, it's always from that sort of feminine mindset. Or if it is male, it's parroted from what they see in the movies, TV shows, and everything else.
Mhm.
And then the people who had lacked social skills, like you were talking about earlier, it's like a woman who hands out sex because deep down she knows that she has nothing really left else to offer. So a
Mhm.
man who's feminized realizes he has nothing to offer but to parrot what he sees as masculinity in the mainstream media. And
Yeah.
I see that a lot. And then it's always executed through this feminine lens too. So you
Mhm.
have that to deal with.
Even the people
And
that run around and talk about looks, 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 that's executed through a feminine lens. Those are the type of people
looks, looks, looks. Right.
I always call them I always call them the cosmos MGTOWs.
The
Looks. Okay, the
Cosmouse, yeah.
cosmos MGTOWs basically. I'm talking about the magazine, not the actual space, because
Yeah.
that's all it really talks about in the books. How to do this, how to do that, when to do that, how to look cute, how to do this, how to do that. It's like, okay, yeah, fuck off. So
Yeah.
typically, there's a lot of
Yeah.
men in the manosphere that literally, it's like they literally read the Cosmopolitan magazine, like
Because you
women and
said
shit
it.
like
I
that.
mean, the subscriber cultures. You have the Forbes MGTOWs, the Cosmopolitan
Cosmopolitan
MGTOWs. You have
MGTOWs.
the Us
You
Weekly
have the
MGTOWs. You have the National Enquirer MGTOWs, who are
MGTOWs.
all
Oh
about
yeah,
drama
drama and shit
and
like that.
gossip.
You got the nasty. Then you got then you got New York Times MGTOWs. You also got Wall Street Journal MGTOWs. You got like
Yeah.
stock tip MGTOWs. You got the day trader New Yorker. It's like,
New Yorker
so
MGTOWs. Yeah, exactly.
so it all depends on what they're up to, basically. And the sad part about that, there's a lot of MGTOWs and a lot of red pillars that are into the cosmopolitan shit. He said this, she said that, we did this, we're talking about this, and this, that, and the other, and we're spilling the tea. Like, okay, yeah, no, stop. Please stop. Just stop. And then you got like the National Enquirer MGTOWs. Oh yeah, Petey Proud over here like this, and Bunny AD had this person
So
on
and
their stream,
so.
and this, that,
Yeah.
and the other, and this, that, and the other. I'm like, oh, stop it. Just shut the fuck up. Let that man do what he do, and let that woman just be. Like, it's like y'all trying to create this drama to basically get more views based on the fact that you want this drama surrounding you. I don't need that drama over here. Take that drama elsewhere. And
Yeah.
that's
And
typically
I
how I
mean,
feel about it.
yeah, and it's like, how people say happy wife, happy life. It's like that's what they're inviting into their life, is more
Mm-hmm.
complexity and more drama, because
Yeah.
it's just something to preoccupy yourself when you're something to do. Like with the sex addiction, like a lot of people like I've worked with, they get off work And the only thing I hear them talk about is, oh, my wife's off work too. That's why I want to be off work. It's like, so I can spend time with her. And
No,
it's like, well, I understand
I go
that.
to work. I go to work to get
Yeah.
rid of get away from every fucking
To
baddie.
get away, exactly. That's exactly why. That's exactly. Just facts. I mean,
And
I
if
work
I ain't happy,
every
if
day.
I ain't
I work.
happy, nobody's going to be happy.
I mean, yeah. Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, all those days, Labor Day, Martin Luther King Day. I'll probably be working during that in 2021. I'm just putting that out there, but because
So yeah, even though I'm in a relationship, I don't celebrate none of those days. So therefore, I'm going to be working all those days. I will find a
right,
job and just work all the holidays on purpose because I'm not
right,
celebrating shit. You can't see me. You won't see me. I'm not celebrating shit. Fuck you. Fuck your face. Fuck your dick.
and then like, because to kind of bring it to something that you were talking about in, I believe it was Bleeding Edge or in the Charming Gang, it was good sex versus orgasmic sex. This is what a lot of men suffer from, is they go for the whole good sex thing.
Mm-hmm.
And like when I ask most men why they're in the relationship, they were like, "Well, we were friends, or we became really good friends. We liked the connection, and the good sex was like a bonus." And that kind of gets what you're talking about with the sex addiction being a distraction of underlying problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you're looking for a good connection with a woman, you go to the wrong place. You kind of barking up the wrong tree type thing, where it's like most of that stuff you should get with your shield brethren, or your sword brethren, or something like that, and not with the company of another woman. I mean, obviously there's a lot of things that a woman can do for you, if she wants to, if she appreciates who you are. And but then not a lot of women appreciate who a guy is just off the bat or off the jump, unless that's how you present yourself. If you present yourself as high value, and that's
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of like what black pillars talk about when they talk about being a part of the circus
Mm-hmm.
type thing. But
The sad part
um,
about that,
yeah,
they're just as much as part of the circus as everybody else because they do the same stupid shit that they claim they're not doing like everybody else does, and it's like, no, nigga, you're doing the same fucking thing. You're out there
yeah,
virtue signaling that you're going to try to stay you. You know who else virtue signals that you should accept them from them? Feminists.
women, yeah,
It's like they do the same exact thing. So what you can't sit up here and tell me is you're different from everybody else when you're actually spouting some of the same rhetoric that the opposite side spouts. And the sad part about that is you're not settling down or you're not just wanting sex is nothing more than the same thing as a woman saying that I want a guy with everything on his fucking list. So you basically are foregoing sex. You're foregoing sex because you want this love, this imaginary love, and love don't fucking exist any fucking way. So you might as well just hang up that fucking boot. And the sad part about that, if love actually
that right
existed,
there.
my family wouldn't be in existence at all if love actually existed. And this is typically how it actually works. We don't love any fucking baddie. We either care, which is only for children, or if an adult is injured, or we admire, appreciate, and respect. That's it. It's admire, appreciate, respect. That's fucking it. And if you have a sexual connection to that person, then it's just fucking lust. There's no such thing as fucking love. And that's just a sad hard reality when it comes to stuff like that. Everybody wants to talk about love in a manosphere when in fact that's some bullshit that men made up when they talked about romances, and it's just bullshit basically. It doesn't fucking exist. Nobody ever really feels it. It's all about admiration, appreciation, and respect. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's more like usury that they associate, develop a Stockholm syndrome about. Like, imagine being an android and you just cook and clean and provide sex for your partner, and how you justify that would be love to you, but it really is
Mhm.
just, it's just admiring that person for keeping you around. It's just appreciating that person for who they are, that they have their life outside of using you. And it's a respect out of that they acknowledge that you're, you know that you serve a purpose in their life. Like most people, when they go out in public, when they're getting served by somebody, that person could be a robot for all they care. They're not necessarily concerned with that. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people who are just who genuinely just they go out just to talk in their community, and this is something that a lot of black pill people they don't seem to understand, or they don't seem to, I guess, appreciate, respect, and admire in other people, is that when you're so tied up in this whole virtue signaling, you start to see not to see people as who they really are, and this is where all of the, I guess, their blind side is, because they fail to look around them and see who's actually having the sex, who's actually in the relationships, who's
Hmm.
actually succeeding in life. It's not all the same people. It's not all great. It might be 20% of people, no, and it's not even just, it's not even just like 20 or 5% of the people. I mean, if you look at it, like if you look at the actual black pill part of the red pill, it's talking about like the elites and the 1%, and the people that are quote unquote succeeding. I mean, those people's lives is filled with just uh, high neuroticism and freaking just always needing to control things. I mean, yeah, they might be able to purchase anything in their life and actually enjoy it. But if you look at what a base level person, their motivations in life, everybody's just out to just enjoy life, and then the black pill people, because they're tied up in virtue signaling, kind of like the feminists. They're basically just spending most of their time going woe is me, and just being so like depressed about the whole situation in general, that
Hmm.
they're not actually looking around them to see who has power, who's taking power into their own hands in life, and it
And
isn't
the sad part
defined
about,
by
and
whatever
this
it
is
is
the
that
thing, and this is the thing,
what's money status.
and this is the thing I always find funny about all these people that run around talking about black pill and looks and looks and looks. The sad part about that is the Rockefellers. There's no such thing as an attractive Rockefeller. There's no such thing as a fucking attractive fucking Rothschild. They're all ugly as fucking sin. If you look at them motherfuckers, younger and older, they're all ugly as fucking sin. But women want to marry them, and they can get multiple women at the snap of a fucking finger. And that's the funny thing I've always laughed about, because the top 1% aren't the most attractive people in the world. They're the least attractive people in the world. Like, let's just keep it 100. Um, so when it comes
Good
down to
points.
it,
Yeah,
they're not really Chads. They're not Shirley Chads and quote unquote Tyrones. They're just fucking wealthy as fuck. They can buy and sell people 100 times over and over again, basically. And that's when you know you're fucking wealthy, when you could pretty much put a price on a person, and that person's willing to take that fucking price, and you could buy and sell them over and over again. It is what it is. This is
hmm
typically what it's typically no different than the motherfuckers that'll do stupid shit for $200, and other motherfuckers that'll do shit for $500 or $1,000 on TV or $100,000. There's certain things. If you got a price on you, everybody knows they can buy you. That's just it. If you don't have a price on you, then you'll probably be harder to buy or convince to do some stupid shit. And this is typically where morals actually come into play. If you lack morals, you're easy to buy, no matter if you like it or not. Everybody gets a price who doesn't have strong morals or doesn't have a strong moral compass. So this is typically how I can tell when a person doesn't have a strong moral compass. This is typically how I pick out all my friends, all my close friends in my inner circle. If I know I can buy and sell you over and over again, you're not going to be friends with me. You might be an associate, you might be somebody I tap into for a later date and time, but you're not going to be a best friend for all intents and purposes. Because at the end of the day, if I know I can buy and sell you, I know somebody else can buy and sell you too. Now
hmm
that's some real red pill shit right there.
hmm
Because a lot of people got
Yeah,
them friends.
yeah. Friends, yeah.
A lot of
Friends
people
or
got them fake ass
family
friends
members.
who they think they're
Yeah,
real, and it's up until they're getting sold up the river and shit like that.
exactly. Or like, oh, my MGTOW brothers, donate to me. All of a sudden, they're getting sold. All their information is now, you know, been put out there on Front Street, and it's sad. It's sad.
He goes and slave trade on his past life. Forget you, Americans.
Well, the part about buying selling doesn't have to do with money at all. It has to do with the it's like the Internet of Things, or like the ideas that we have
Yeah,
nowadays are very powerful. So it's like, yeah, if I know that any sort of thing that you learn, that you see out there on YouTube, like any video, is going to influence you 100% of the way to where now you believe something to be true that you didn't before, it's like I can't trust you. I have to unsubscribe, especially if we're going through cuffing season. I was laughing when I was
right.
telling Pico about it. I was
uh-huh.
laughing and MGTOW on the win, because it's like I can't trust you to be objective. I can't trust you.
Yeah, and that's the
Yeah.
problem. It's like because like at the end of the day, I view all women in the light that they can be bought and sold. That's basically how I view all women. If they don't have strong morality or strong morals or some strong moral compass, they can all be bought and sold by anybody and everybody. The sad part about that, it don't matter how good you look, it don't matter how much money you got, it don't matter what kind of car you drive, it don't matter what your status is. That same bitch can be bought and sold and traded
And a
like
lot
a
of the
fucking
married
commodity.
men, they understand that it's like it's not it's not she's not his, it's just their turn. But they don't see this, they don't see, like, they're within what I think is what Immanuel Kant would call bounded rationality, to where they're bargaining with the fact that as long as they cook, as long as they clean, as long as they pay, as long as they are emotionally vulnerable and are emotionally tampon to this woman, that she will stick around. But they never have the power in themselves, like what I was saying, when they go into the workplace, or when they go into something that is just, I guess, a reprieve from what they consider as their life with their partner. They're always trying to, I guess, justify what the life that they're going back to, instead of just being in the moment and being more present, which will actually get you further in your career and in your job than merit being I mean than being tied down or preoccupied with something will ever do. It's not necessarily the fact they're in a relationship per se, because like you were saying, any of these things that they could be uh in dependent on is just to, I guess, is just to guess to I guess just to ignore something that's underlying, or to not focus on it quite so much, or to run away from it. And so they have like a lot of uh you know they may not have a lot of issues, but the one issue is that their inability to relate with people makes it so that they have to have this kind of web of lies and stuff like that. And then if that
So
web of lies is being penetrated by somebody who's, maybe, red pill, or maybe not even red pill, but going through the stages of learning who they are by themselves, um, that makes a person very nervous, to the point where they gotta have to be laughing at you. They have to be destroying your character, either in your face or behind your back, or they have to put you in a box. Because if you're just a single man or something, going through the motions and trying to learn yourself and be an individual, that's too much for a lot of married men, or blue pill people to handle. So they will,
yeah,
and I notice this, a lot of men are kind of secure in themselves, like they're fine. But then you also have men who, like, you have blue pill men who are just very established. They have good morals. That's what, and they haven't been they and they've either made mistakes and learned from them, or they've gone through the motions, which you would even call that kind of more the red pill, because they have knowledge to back up
mhm,
how they act, and their confidence comes off in a much more masculine way than
yeah.
the confidence that men who are just married just for the heck of it because of love
See, and the difference between the
have
confidence in those
confidence.
the difference between the confidence in those guys and guys that are like that is it's a matter of there was a scene from a movie that I love so much where the guy literally turns around to the woman and goes, "Quite frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn," and he walks out the door. And that's legit what masculinity is and looks like. The minute you can turn around to a woman and tell her where she is or where she stands or where she is, that's when you know you're actually fully masculine. The sad part about that,
Yeah.
there's not too many men in this world that are. And the sad part about that, even the men that claim they are aren't even masculine. And the sad part about that, nobody's willing to do that. Like I said, if you're not willing to sacrifice everything you love and anything that you got in your life and to start all over again, then you're not masculine in the least bit. Because at the end of the day, it's kind of like what I say about being a drug dealer. If you can't sacrifice all the money and all your prized possessions and turn around and remake it again, you're not masculine in the least bit. You would never be masculine unless you can pull that shit off. Like a good example of that is I can actually give away all my money today and make all that money back illegally tomorrow. That's literally how I stand. That's literally where it stands. Because
Mhm.
the sad part about that, if you're not willing to do that, you're not willing to grab life by its horns, you will never make it in this fucking world. You would just be a
Mhm.
mediocre motherfucker in this world. And that's simply how it works. So it's not about just being going through with the motions and being okay with your job and being okay with your position. The question is, are you okay with your life? Are you okay with everything around you? Are you okay with how your life is going? Are you going to have a midlife crisis at some point? And if you do, how are you going to overcome that and make it better for yourself?
Yeah.
If you can't do that, then you're stuck there. Then you're wondering where women are, or where the bitches at, basically. Or if you got to
Chicky poo.
smash and dash, if you got to smash and dash on a regular basis, you're not comfortable with yourself. Because, like I said, if I didn't go to Tijuana, I would be a monk right now. I would be a MGTOW monk right now, and that's just 100% true. Because the sad part about that is I don't need nobody else to validate me. I don't need women. I don't need children. I don't need family. I don't need anybody else to validate me. And that's typically how it's supposed to work. You're supposed to be okay with you. It don't matter what
Yeah.
other people think of you. Like I always say, I don't give a damn what you think of me. As long as I'm okay with me, that's all that fucking matters. And people
Mhm.
need to learn this about themselves and be willing to actually go through with that for themselves. Because if you're not, you're just going to live a fucked up life. You're going to be living life for other people or other people, not yourself, basically, or living to appease other people in your life. And it's like, don't do that. Don't do that. That's very embarrassing.
Yeah. I'm like, you look depressed. Is honestly what I tell people, especially like, because to like talk with Chicky Poo and stuff, and to be like, you know, to tell her what's up is it's different than to actually be talking to a guy and him not realizing, what he's missing out on in life, and just him pushing all of that off onto you and all that emotional energy. Like I said, that was something that I used to say, oh, he must have it all figured out. The truth is he doesn't have it all figured out. Whenever you get shamed, it's always by somebody who's in a lower position than you are.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned that from Tico's channel.
Like, yeah,
Uh,
all that shit is basically doing nothing more than tethering your ass back to the fucking plantation. And the sad part about that is everybody falls for that shit at some point in their lives before they actually learn, like, this shit is pointless. What's the point? And the sad part about that, nobody's immune from it. Everybody suffers from it. Everybody still suffers from it, but they pretend like they're not, and they pretend like they're above and beyond. It's kind of like all those people that'll say, I don't care what other people think, but they be in somebody's comment section saying stupid shit, but they don't care what anybody thinks. They're in the comment section talking about what people telling people what they can do or what it is about people basically. And I get a lot of those stupid motherfuckers in my comment section. Okay, so if you don't care, then why did you comment? Well, I'm just giving my opinion. Well, you wouldn't give your opinion if you didn't fucking care. So obviously you care enough to want to make a comment under my fucking video. So obviously I must have struck a chord with your dumb ass for you to want to make a comment under my video. And the sad part about that is the only reason why I respond is because it helps my algorithm.
yeah, I mean, them saying they
So
don't
I'm
care
actually I'm being
is
selfish and
they're
honest,
just
whereas
sitting up.
you're being stupid and dumb. Like you're helping my algorithm. Thank you very much. So the
Yeah,
more
and
you keep responding, the more stupid shit I'm gonna say to you.
stupidity is like is
Thanks,
ubiquitous. Yeah.
America's DeVille. That's the movie that I was thinking of.
What do you say?
That's
Gone
the
with
name
the
of the movie
Wind.
that I got. Gone with the Wind is
Yeah,
where I got that
man.
line from. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
I don't give a damn. But yeah, stupidity is pretty much ubiquitous when it comes to this. When it comes to any place that you find virtue signaling, it's to mask something that is just stupidity or
Mm-hmm.
ignorance or arrogance. It's always about making yourself propping yourself up. It's kind of like the opposite of shaming. So
Mm-hmm.
instead of putting the blame on you, they're kind of trying to insinuate that because they've experienced something or what they know, that they're somehow safe from from the world. They're kind of like
Yeah,
sheltered from experiencing reality, and it's all stupidity. Like at the end of the day, it's all just somebody being dumb and trying to justify being dumb. It's kind of
dumb.
like
Yeah,
when a feminist is just like,
or
oh,
falling,
I
or
live my
falling for a
truth.
fuck.
Yeah,
Or my favorite is they'll say, "Well, I'm just trying to teach you something. You're not teaching me shit. There's nothing you can teach me because you're a dumbass." And the sad part about that, you're just mad because you fell for a simple trap that I left in a fucking live
that
stream.
I
You
that
happen to
I
hear a
never
certain section.
walked into. Yeah, like
Yeah,
it's like you're getting
that you
mad
just
at
walked
somebody.
into. Now you're mad and you want to teach me shit when you walked into a bear trap, basically. You can't teach me shit if your foot's still in a bear trap. If you're not going to shut up and realize your foot's in a bear trap and get your foot out and walk the fuck away like a smart person, then don't come to me, Top. I'm trying to teach you something. There's a difference between coming in on your feelings and coming in to critique something. Like if I go to somebody's comment section, I'm only going for two fucking reasons: to congratulate or tell you that you did a good video, or to critique a video. That's it. I don't go over there talking shit. I'll critique something you said, and I'll say I agree with what you said right there. But you might want to read, or you might want to go back and research what you just said right here. And I'll leave shit like that all the time. And people get, whoa, like, see, nigga, you're in your feelings. This is why I don't fuck with y'all niggas. This is why I don't fuck with you. And it is what it is. Because I know how people are going to react to me. Because it is what it is. Because everybody thinks that I'm so smart I could do this. Well, no, you're not smart if you got to react like a little bitch to shit. And it is what
Yeah,
it is.
just saying you're smart is definitely virtue signaling.
Yeah, saying you're smart is virtue signaling. Shit. I know a lot of smart people that don't say they're smart at all. I know a lot of intelligent people that don't got to sit there and quote a bunch of fucking quotes from philosophers from the 1500s or before. So, like, no, you're not smart. You're basically trying to prop yourself up using other philosophers to seem smart so you can feel as though you're smart. And the sad part about that is if you watch a lot of these content creators that I know a lot of people do, you find out very quickly their lack of intelligence, their intelligence hinges on them quoting a bunch of quotes from philosophers or taking talking points from other red pillars or other people. Like they don't elaborate on none of that shit. They just talk in big ass circles using different quotes so they can progress their stream to try to sound smart, and that's all they fucking do.
Yeah, it's not, and like you said with this whole sex addiction thing, it's not bad to do that in per se, but if anybody were to point that out, that subtle irony or that subtle, paradox that everybody falls into, or just try to expand their knowledge out into the larger scope of the red pill, all you hear back is the same, and it kind of that's why Tico was saying that they seem semi red pill or sort of somewhere in between, because they still are conditioned to react defensively with a blue pill shaming tactic or with virtue signaling. Like, I'm in the military, I do this, I am
So people,
smart.
I'm in the military. Well,
I
the military is
It's
actually
like,
blue pill. Your point is,
what?
and
It's
I'll tell
like,
them in a
so
heartbeat.
I don't care. Yeah, I don't care. I'm pointing out a flaw in your argument. There's nothing, no amount of subscribers that you have or how creative you are is going to remove the fact that what you said is just regurgitated bullshit from somebody else's channel, or from like you said, like an old philosopher or something. Like,
Yeah, and the
it's
sad part
not.
about that, I watch all the content creators. Well, he's very smart. No, he's Copernicus was smart. Socrates was smart. Um, all these other people that he named were smart. That he took all their quotes from were smart. He's not smart. He's fucking dumb. He's basically trying to prop whatever little intelligence he has up on these philosophers or these people from back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're not smart. Like, I know a lot of smart people, but you're not one of them. Like, so it's like, look, shit. I might be on a Mensa list, but I don't claim I'm smart. I just say I'm making it. And the sad part about that, I have this quote. Even though I am a polyglot, or well, I'm way more than a polyglot. I don't even call myself smart for being a polyglot. I say it's just more ways to say stupid shit in different languages. That's basically how I look at it. Just because I know 16 languages, it's just more ways to say stupid shit in a bunch of different languages. That's all it really is. So I don't even believe people who speak multiple languages are even smart. I just believe it's just more ways to say stupid shit.
I think you would call it hyper polyglot.
Yeah, I would be considered hyper polyglot because I speak what like I actually speak more than 16, but I'll only admit to 16.
And then the whole sex virtue signaling too. Like I get sex or I don't get sex is also a form of virtue signaling. Like when
Yeah,
people claim incelibacy, it's like that's almost akin to a MGTOW thing. Like you shouldn't call yourself MGTOW unless you really are MGTOW. So that's the thing that Tico always gets on me on because I'm kind of hard on myself and stuff. And thing is, you shouldn't be hard on yourself if you're. It's like something Magaman said, I think, or it's just like if you know you have something special, then you should recognize that, or something like he said something to the extent of that. So it's like to claim that you're an incel is just, or to claim that other guys is incel, basically virtue signaling for other people, which is what a lot of liberals do. Like so and so black people are dumb, they don't know how to get voter ID, or black people are less fortunate, or people of color, women of color. This is what incels, or the people who virtue signal for incels, do. They're like, most men can't get sex. It's like, well, six niggas just past you all look less attractive than you in your eyes, all got bitches. So what is your point, like, to your argument? Like you're basically just trying to virtue signal that you care about people who are ugly to you. That means literally dick, like in the grand scale of things. And so this is something that I have to work on too. It's like I was just got done saying, it's like you shouldn't try to claim that you can't get laid in a society where women live their truths out. You know, we're in a society where women are sexually liberated and the things like that. Okay, am I still here? Hello?
you're still here. I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, and then with the whole MGTOW thing, I mean, whatever level you're on, if you're level one, like me, or level one or two, or if you're getting ready to leave the grid, it's like all that stuff should be done. You shouldn't have to justify why you're on a specific level. You should just be able to call it like it is, because MGTOWs can virtue signal too. It's just that we're aware of we highlight when society does it. We don't necessarily we're not
Highlight when we
necessarily
do it our damn
self-aware
selves, or when
self-aware
red
when
pillars
we're
do it.
yeah.
Like there's red pillars that virtue signal like a motherfucker on a regular basis, or tell
Uh-huh.
you what they got, or brag or boast on what the fuck they got. It's like, no, dude, that's not how it was
Well, like you
done.
said with the entrepreneur red pill type thing, that's what you were
Yeah,
talking about. Like there's more to this than just to
yeah.
like
Fuck your
show
business. I
off
own a
what you
business
got.
too. I got a business too, but you don't see me riding around in my fucking car all the damn time because that's none of your fucking business, bitch. Like that's exactly how I feel about it. My life is none of your fucking business. If you want to see my life, go to my fucking travel channel. You'll get to see my fucking life, motherfucker. That's exactly how I feel. Fuck you and fuck your day.
Do 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 do. Let me just look at the topics. I like with the energy that we're going on, but I'm just trying to make sure that we're staying within the time frame here. And I think one of the last topics I want to talk about is kind of like a more jokey topic, and it
No,
was just
sweetheart, what up?
about. And what up, no sweetheart, the silent assassin from Texas. Um, it's just the females being drafted, because I was thinking about this and I made a joke to someone, and then I thought, like, damn, that'd be a good topic for a video. Like if a woman's like, what's this guy? This guy's in my DMs. He's like, oh, you're so sexy. I want to be with you. His name's like Al Baghdadi or something. And then the military's like, oh my God, we got him. Like that would just be so much easier if women had the resources, or had the military, were like military intelligence gatherers, because they're so much better at like being social media and managing networks than men are. Like men, when we're in that situation, obviously, especially feminized men, I'll say, or blue pill indoctrinated men, I'll say, would just be like, because women, when women are in a blue pill setting, they don't really they don't necessarily always succumb to the same thing that feminized men will succumb to, especially if they're uh like it's because men just they just it just looks worse when they do it. And like say all that you want about like combat proficiency, a man will always be able to do that better than a woman, but they also can sometimes take care of children better than women can these days. So if the roles were switched and if females were drafted, I think that things would be kind of interesting. Like you could see because the reason why men are drafted is for their obviously for their combat proficiency, but I don't think that would be the same way women are drafted. Would you agree to that? Like women would be drafted for different reasons. Like they would be drafted for because they can manipulate the enemy better, or they have leverage. The certain things that they know or things that they can leverage would be advantageous, not on the battlefield, but in terms of intelligence. With all the feminized men that are out there lately, I do not know if Tico is still here. Tico, are you still here?
Yes, I'm still
Are you
here,
here?
smartass.
Are you
I
here
just
now?
muted my mic. I muted my mic. Um, but
I
yeah,
didn't
typically
see.
how it works is women won't be drafted for their combat prowess. They'll be drafted for espionage type shit, or
Exactly,
flightest
exactly.
drone, flightest drone over this, or gathering information, or recon and shit like that. I couldn't see them being drafted for actual combat shit. I can see them being
Yeah,
drafted for recon. I can see them being drafted for other information gathering, espionage. You know, shit along the lines of that.
yeah, or just catfishing. You'd be like, oh, it's a woman. No, it's the whole fucking U.S. Army up your
Yeah, I know,
ass.
right? Right?
he's
Pretty
like,
much.
he's like, baby, send me address, and it's just, or I'll send you address. I'll send you Uber, and then all of a sudden the Uber shows up and like SEAL Team 6 pops out that bitch and
I know. Just jump out of the car,
just
jump out of that bitch like a clown car and shit like that. All the clowns jumping
hi
out of the damn
bitch.
car. I'm like, go, 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 go. Yeah, and
Exactly.
it's typically all it really is. And I can never see women actually being drafted for actual combat for the actual military.
No,
I mean, don't get me
exactly. I
wrong.
mean,
There are some that would make it in combat for some in combat, but that is few and far between. Not all women are going to make it and be ready for combat, ready for all intents and purposes. There's very few women that can actually live up to those standards or live up to the bar to actually do so. And the sad part about that, even the ones who they lower the fucking standards for can't even live up to the fucking standards.
yeah, I think for special forces the bar is set pretty high.
Yeah.
Um, you know, so it's just like, yeah, if you can do it, yeah, but we're not gonna just let you in. But in terms of the bar, like, do you think that it could be raised in certain areas, like for example, emotional intelligence, things like that? I mean,
Well,
for
no, I
men for
think I
combat
think
arms,
I,
or you
I'm
think it's
not.
at a healthy, you think it's at a healthy level, like right
Well,
now?
no,
I
because
mean,
at the end of the day, what I think it is like I don't really care who's who and who's what. If you can't
yeah,
pass the fucking bar like normal in the military, the
yeah,
normal military bar, you shouldn't
mhm,
join the military. So if we have to lower the bar for you so you can make it, you shouldn't join the military at all. That's just me
mhm,
though. So if you can't perform at the same level that the men can, then you shouldn't join. And fuck you. You should just wash out. That's exactly how I feel. Like I don't believe in lowering the bar for anybody because when I actually worked for the UEI in Costa Rica, I didn't change anything for the women at all. They literally had to do the same shit that the men did, and if they didn't fucking like it, they can fucking watch out. And that's exactly how I always was. So if you're not willing to jump this shit and run through this obstacle course and do this gritty shit like you're supposed to, then you don't need to be in my class. And good luck. Good luck finishing the rest of this shit and the rest of your
yeah,
training. And that's typically how I feel about it. Like I teach guerrilla warfare. I don't give a fuck about your nails. I don't give a fuck about the purse on sale. I don't give a fuck about your boyfriend, your mom, any of this shit. I teach guerrilla warfare, bitch. Learn it or get the fuck out. And that's all. And that's all it's always been. And I've never been one of them trainers that'll lower the standards just so you can make it. Because here's the thing that I've noticed about women, especially Costa Rican women. It, if if you have a group of women that are in with a group of men, those group of women will try their best to compete with the men so they can be great like the men. Now, if you have a bunch of women bad at fucking sales, they'll complain about all the shit and everything surrounding it and make it worse, basically, and then waste all your time to bitching and complaining about the stupid shit going on around them. Oh, I can't do it. That's too high. It's too muddy. It's too this. It's too that. But the sad part about that is you put women with a bunch of men, they typically try to perform at the same level as a man as much as humanly possible, and they work well in teams too. When you typically do that with Costa Rican women, whereas if you put a bunch of women by themselves, they'll make up every excuse on why they can't climb this wall, why it's too dirty, their outfit was too clean or was too pressed, or any and all this other bullshit. And that's something that I've always noticed the difference between women in Central America or Latin America, Latin world, and women in America. Like women in the Latin world, they'll pick up a gun and go to cartel war with the rest of the men like it ain't shit. Women in America, on the other hand, it's like, well, that's not my job, or that's too gritty, or my nails might get messed up, or my hair just got dead, or this. They just make all these fucking excuses
Hmm.
for no fucking reason, and that's the thing that I hate.
Yeah, I mean the living conditions are like when is are I think the bar is at a good level, and if you can't pass it, you shouldn't be in it. But at the same token, like I think if war is going to get grittier and it's going to be more guerrilla based, or we're going to be fighting on like the home front type thing, it's like you have to be multifaceted. You can't just be you can't really you have to be able to always break the mold. It's like military strategy is been around since ancient time and is still developing. So if you can't be that kind of if you can't be able to if you can't adapt the same way that any person should be able to adapt in like a combat or tactical situation, then you shouldn't try to apply yourself to that type of thing. And it gets like it gets even deeper too, because I think the virtue signaling and the blue pill indoctrination bleeds into this aspect, and it's why the military and the America is abused so, or a military, the American military is abused so much as it is and strewn about and just spread so thin. I mean, granted, we do have the technology and capabilities to do so, but all the men that you talk to, they don't. It's not like they share they share like this camaraderie, but they don't have like their viewpoint is just so collapsed for the whole thing in general. No matter how much clearance they have or anything at all, it's all still you can pretty much still see right through a person, like even if they're capable of like killing you with a paperclip or something like that. It's just like no level of training has made them like or a confidence chamber or anything has made them kind of, I guess, zoom out and see the bigger picture. And like I
Yeah.
respect the people who are in the manosphere, who are in the who came from the military, because they have a message. But then if you're just a walking, if you're just a hired gun type person, or just that's your mentality, you just go in and you just shoot people because America and because my freedom of speech, or like my fought for your rights type thing. You're just trying to virtue signal and get more respect than you deserve. Again, we're back to
Mm-hmm.
the same power dynamics and the same need for power and the
Mm-hmm.
lack of power. So it's like if you're not comfortable within yourself to just say fuck all of my responsibilities, fuck all my obligations to my country and stuff. I'm my own person. I'm living on my own. I'm ready to walk away from it all. Then don't expect to get respect from at least any person who's like free thinking, or at least me. Don't expect to get respect from me
And the
just
problem,
because
my
of what you
problem,
do.
I know, and here's the thing when it comes to virtue signaling, I have no problem. Like if you served in the military, and I know you served in the military, you're not trying to sit up here and brag or boast about
Lie
it, or
or lie.
or lie about
Yeah.
it too, or humble brag or humble boast about it. As long as you're not doing that, I'm perfectly fine with that. The minute you come to me and goes, I served this country, this, that, and the other, this, that, and the other, I'm going to shut the fuck up. Quit virtue signaling. And I'll tell
Right.
somebody that in a heartbeat because, like, everybody doesn't need to know that. Now you're just trying to get praise and admiration now from a bunch of people, and you're not going to get it from me if you're going to be loud and brash about it. It's like, okay, that's nice, fuck off. And that's literally what I've told many people who've done that in public. Like, okay, that's nice, fuck off. And it's one of those things. It's one thing if you come in your uniform and you're humble about it, because most people who come in a uniform, they're very humble about it. There's motherfuckers that
Right.
don't wear a uniform that are the most braggadocious about it in the whole entire world.
Yeah.
It's like, shut up. Like, it's that cat outside, like, shut the fuck up. Like,
Wow. I served in the military. Wow.
what's up, James? And that's the thing that pisses me off. Like, dude, we get it. You served in the military. Go away now. It's like one of those things. It's like, I know people that don't even tell people they served in the military, but if you actually look at how they do something, or if they do work, or how they mop a floor, separate about, you can tell somebody was in the military by the way they mop the floor, or you can tell somebody was in the military based on how they talk or how they carry themselves in a courtroom. You can tell somebody was in the military based on, you know, any of these like subtle cues that they'll normally give you, because they typically do it in a certain way or in a certain fashion. It's basically what I say about, like, there's an art to everything, and there's an art to know when somebody was actually militarily trained, or just some regular ass person for all intents and purposes. And it is what it is.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, you can definitely see discipline in the way somebody carries himself. I just want to highlight, there's that Cardi B or Offset was filming Cardi B sweeping. And
Mm-hmm.
if you scroll down the comment section, everybody's like, the way that she's holding that mop, or she didn't even pick up the big things before she started sweeping. They're just like highlighting how shitty of a like
Yeah,
a housekeeper she is.
she is. Yeah,
I was
she's such
like,
at keeping house.
damn.
She
I
looks
was like,
pretty, but she can't keep a fucking house. What's the point of having her around then? And
that,
that's typically one of those things. That's typically one of those things where I always say, when it comes to women, you don't pick a woman because she got a fat ass. You don't pick a woman because she got big titties. You don't pick a woman because she's pretty. You pick a woman that can keep a house. She can't keep a fucking house, then why the fuck do you have her around? She can't cook a damn thing, then why the fuck do you have her around? If she can't take care of herself and or prepare anything for children outside of stopping at a fucking fast food restaurant, then why the fuck do you have her around? And it's always been one of my
and
things,
life
one of the
lessons,
many things.
preparing life lessons, like getting ready for
Right.
a person to enter a different stage in life. Like if they treat you
Yeah.
like a kid all the way up until you're, in your late 30s, then they have a serious issue because they're still trying to use grasp for power over that person and over their entire life by controlling somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Still, it's still that, even no matter how they look or what they, their level of status or their not their education or anything, none of that matters if they can't they can't respect themselves
Mm-hmm.
as a human being. But yeah, sorry, I cut you off.
You're fine, but it's always been one of those things where, like, a lot of men get into a relationship with women who can only do one or two things, or only specialize in one thing only. And it's like, dude, then what was the point of marrying that woman in the first damn place if she didn't have all these other skills? She couldn't do this, she couldn't do that, she couldn't do this. So what was it? Oh, sex, got it. Or, oh, she had a banging body, got it. Yeah, that's marriage material. Yeah, let me tell you. Because I'll never marry somebody just because they look good, or they got a fat ass, or the way they dance on a dance floor caught my eyes. No, that's not me. Like, if you can't break down some household shit, then we can't talk. If you can't fucking boil water, you might as well not even talk to me. If you don't know how to fucking look, if you don't know how to make simple shit or easy to make shit like mac and cheese, we got a problem. Like, you can't come up to me and tell me I'd be a great housewife, but you want to be a wife and you want me to take you on, but I can't even trust you to actually be able to feed our children in the future. It's like, what is the point of having you around if I'm at work? Now y'all going to starve until I get home now because you can't cook. And what's the point of having you around? Like, what is your
Yeah,
purpose?
it's like being a manager, but you need somebody else there in
Yeah,
order to like manage properly. It's like, well, why do you call yourself a manager if you
yeah, it's
can't
like,
actually do the job yourself?
yeah.
She's
Or if
like,
you're a
I
manager,
manage my household. Oh, but I need you to do this. Can you reach that for me? Can you do that? Can you like do the Can you do the
yeah.
dishes?
Or I man,
Can you
or,
do
or
that?
I manage my household, and it looks like you walk in the door. She's supposed to be managing the household. You walk in the door, look like fucking Hurricane Katrina, roll through that bitch and shit like that. Shit all over the place. Nothing turned over. Not a broom moved. Not a vacuum moved. The room bot don't even fucking work because the batteries ain't in it. Because the bitch that forgot to change
Dust,
the batteries.
collecting
Dishwasher
dust.
hasn't been ran. Dishwasher hasn't been ran in days. It's just shit like this. kitchen sink full of dishes, but you own a dishwasher. Like, what is the point of having that woman around at that point? What is her purpose? Why is she there? Why?
Oh, because she looks good. She brings an income for the household, and she's respected in society. It's like none of that shit fucking
What income?
matters.
What the fuck income does she bring to the household? Your
She
children are
has a
fucking
job.
starving
Yeah,
right now. Like,
exactly.
your children are starving. What income does she bring? Because your children are
It's not
fed.
income. It's money that comes in and then goes out immediately. That's
Yeah,
not income.
basically. Yeah, like no, like what is she doing for the children? Oh, they're failing on their grades. Why are they failing on their grades? You got somebody at home with them. Why are they failing on their grades? Oh, she doesn't deem it necessary to teach them how to
Yeah,
do their homework,
how
or
is she
you know,
educated, but you can't
yeah,
help your kids with your
can't
homework?
help with your homework. Yeah, like
Yeah,
come on now,
yeah,
like
just
no,
like
that is not a good wife. That is not good relationship material. She
damn.
can't
Yeah,
do shit. Like I'm sorry, if you can't help your children with their homework because shows or
my
reality
Ellen,
shows or
my Allen.
Ellen or other stuff going on or girl power, then your kids are going to grow up stupid as fuck. Because
Literally.
I know a lot of women who are single mothers that can't even fucking do a simple fucking math problem to save their fucking life. Who don't understand the reading comprehension that their children are learning, and their children only in third fucking grade. Like, let that shit sink in real quick. You don't understand, but you got this degree and studies and whatever the fuck social class, whatever the fuck they call that they call the feminist degree that they always get, social
Yeah.
or gender studies, but you can't fucking read and comprehend what your child got in front of them. Yeah, you're prime material for children, or you're prime material for mothers. Then you got half these motherfuckers that sit up there and say stupid shit like, "Well, I don't want to have any children." Good, because your children will be dumb as fuck. Like, and that's exactly how I feel. Like, I'm glad you don't want to have children because your children will be dumb as fuck because you have looking at your profile right now, you have no reading comprehension and you have no
She
awareness
said,
to this whole entire
swipe
world.
left. You
Yeah, it's like
fucking
you have no
swipe
awareness to
left.
this whole entire world, so you might as well just please don't let your lineage live on and just die to fuck off because you're too stupid to continue. Your lineage line is just too fucking stupid to continue at this point. And that's exactly how I feel about women that say, I don't want to have any children. Good, because you're dumb as fuck. Because there's a lot of people that shouldn't. And there's a lot of women who have kids who shouldn't be having kids right now. I'm just keeping it 100. There's a lot of dudes right now that have children that shouldn't be having children too.
Yeah.
What's up,
Mm,
MGTOW
and
threads?
yeah, I mean, we could go deeper, but I think we should just save that for another Bear Than Say This, so we could do these more often type thing, you know?
So we can do
And
this more often. This guy's
because
the
we
one.
didn't because
This
it's been a
guy's,
while.
this one's the one that got it. You got to mix. You got to do a schedule with this guy. So we got to do these more often. You think?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And when I have free time during the day, or like when I'm done, it's like we should do this more often. And it's like if it's shorter, that's good because then it doesn't really interfere, and then I don't really have to make up for it. But that's getting too much. That's like sharing too much already. But I appreciate everybody who's tuned in, and like make sure you leave a like on your way out and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I am ghosting out on this one, guys. I'm ghosting out on
This
this,
guy.
guys.
He gonna get your ass one day. You lucky he ain't streaming no time this year. He gonna
He
get
said,
your ass.
I was hoping you were gonna ask me how I was doing because I was gonna say I'm better than I deserve. Better than I deserve.
That's good. That's good.
Uh, that's what TFM says. TFM says that.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said that's good. That's why I laughed at you and said that's good.
Okay.
Now you're stealing other people's talking points now.
Yeah, exactly. So we start virtue signaling now.
um, Apparently, Yan
But
is a TFM fan. Do you even
yes,
have D Live yet?
I'm not a stan. Yeah, I do. Of course I do.
You
Who do you
have D
think I
Live?
am? Yes.
Okay, just making sure. Just checking.
Yeah.
Don't be getting don't be getting toughy with me. Just checking. Be busting your ass.
But yeah, and yeah, if Americus wants to come on and Baron and say this every once in a while, he's welcome to. But
He's always welcome.
ah, he's MGTOW royalty. America, but yeah.
Playing
You want to do
Diablo
your
3. Wait a minute. Playing
who's
Diablo 3, listening to Alex Jones, and peeking at some porn. That's an interesting combination there.
peeking at it? Peeking at it.
Playing Diablo 3. Diablo 3 is actually a really, really good game. Um, Nice. Listening to Alex Jones. That's a great question.
It's a very good combination.
Yeah, Yamas and Celestina Stan. That's a good one.
Celestina.
Hidden gotcha. Hidden got him.
Do you
Hidden got him.
want TFM? Go to D Live now and watch the TFM show where we talk about different topics.
Yeah.
I love her music. I love Celestina's. I love all Celestina's creative endeavors.
Yeah,
I would
but
defend her, Celestina for president.
I would defend Sabstina for president. Wow. 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 Wow.
But do you want to do some
She'd be smart.
outros?
She'd be smarter than the rest.
Yeah, she would. She definitely would. I
You
like
want to do
how
your
Hayden.
outro?
I like how Hayden just
Okay.
waits all the way until the end
To say
just to
some
make a
shit. Yeah, to
comment
drop a bomb. Yeah.
about me.
I know,
Wow,
right?
just can't wait. Well, he can
uh-uh.
wait. Wait till the end. But this is Baron Yam. Be good. Stay blood or stay MGTOW. Stay red pill. If you believe in a higher power, pray to that. Pray that we get through to 2021 because God knows these motherfuckers is really out here doing some crazy shit. So just be
True story.
be careful and try not to virtue signal. And if you do virtue signal, it is what it is. Just try to be a better person and improve yourself. If you're gonna virtue signal, try to do it. Be cool about it. Don't try to make anybody, don't try to make anyone do anything good or bad to you. Just let people make that decision for themselves. Don't try to force anybody because at that point, it's pretty much fascism, and nobody likes a fucking fascist. You know.
And nobody
So
likes the
with
fucking
that,
communists either.
yes, of course. What's it's like your talking points are my talking points, comrade. That's basically
hmm
what communists are. Yeah. Fuck them commies. Fuck them commies, right? We're going to say stay black.
Yeah. Stay black. That's a good one.
Yes, stay black, hidden. Stay black.
Mm-mm-mm.
But yeah, that's my outro. That's gonna be it, guys. Have a good one. Subscribe to my channel, like, comment, and share. It's the Baron Yam.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Definitely sub to his channel, guys. If you haven't subbed to his channel, he does pretty good content. I would have to give him that. He does pretty good content. He does a lot more video games, but when he does drop some shit, he does drop some pretty esoteric shit. Except for when he's trying to be esoteric and he's always trying to blowtorch somebody in the balls or something like that. Other than that, he's pretty good.
I have not had to blowtorch anybody once out. Everybody's been on point, which I appreciate. Credit to all the men in the manosphere.
Goodness gracious! But this is Tico Trend. This is Tico Trend, Red Pill, aka the Internal Sadist, aka the most honest criminal in the world,
aka if your mom's ugly, we can't talk.
Yeah, right. If your mom's ugly, we can't talk. AKA, it is what it is. AKA, I don't love them hoes, even the one I'm with.
That was so funny. In the DMs, he's like, I don't love Cartel Princess. I appreciate, admire, and respect the stuff she does for me.
She does for me. That's it. Yeah,
everything else is just lust. I was like,
everything else is just lust.
I was like, sad.
Damn right. I keep it 100. I keep it 100. I don't love her. I just appreciate the shit she does for me.
We don't love them hoes.
We don't love them hoes.
Earring wearing, Tupac loving ass nigga.
Right? But yeah,
Oh, smooth in the face.
it is what it is. But just love yourselves, appreciate yourselves, and do better for yourselves, and always treat yourselves like milk and do nothing but spoil yourselves, and always make yourself the better version of yourselves, and always build upon your greatness every day of your life. It don't matter how fast you do it, just as long as you're doing it, that's all that fucking matters. Just always improve upon yourself. That's all. Love yous guys from all walks of the manosphere, let it be red pill, black pill, incels, everybody else under the sun. All I want for everybody, MGTOW, everybody, more SYSBM, as long as y'all care about yourselves and love yourselves, that's all that fucking matters to me. I don't give a damn what y'all fucking do. Y'all can hang a bitch tomorrow and I would look the other way like, I didn't see shit. Like, I don't really care what y'all do. As long as y'all try to improve yourselves, that's all that fucking matters to me. Is what I'm basically trying to say. So, love yous guys. Check out my internal Sadist channel if you haven't already checked it out. Barry Yam's channels in the description. Yeah, Barry Yam's channels in the description box below.
This is the Eternal Sadist. Why are you MGTOW?
Barry Yam's channel's in the description box below if you want to go over to his channel. The Internal State is also in the channel description box below too. My Twitch channel's in there, and my public Discord's in there as well too. Y'all be blessed, have a good one, and have a good night, and catch y'all in the next Internal Sadist. Baron and Sadist, shit.
I'll see you guys in full on Sunday for Bleeding Edge Red Pill.
Yeah.
So
and catch y'all Sunday for Bleeding Edge Red Pill. So be good, be blessed, and thank everybody for coming. We love you guys. We out, my niggas. Outros. Almost forgot outros.
What's your favorite type of ice cream?
Outros.
And also booty, butt, cheeks.
What's your favorite kind of ice cream? Pussy! This pussy's so... Hello, motherfucker!
Yeah.
You're welcome. You're all welcome to join.
I'm not eating pussy ice cream.
Pussy!
What's your favorite kind of ice cream? Pussy! This pussy's so good.
This video is for mature audiences. If you're watching this and you're underage, fuck you, fuck your face and fuck your day. This video is for mature audiences. If you're watching this and you're underage, fuck you, fuck your parent and fuck your day. This video is for mature audiences. If you're watching this and you're underage, you have shitty parents or parent and should be shit slapped. This video is for mature audiences. If you're watching this and you're underage, you have shitty parents or parent and they should be sterilized.
Sterilized. They should be sterilized.
No, that's not it. It's this one right
Well,
here.
it's too late. It's too late for them to be sterilized. You're...
All right, y'all have a good one. Be blessed.